And we're live. So my 2 cents worth I just said, and I guess nobody heard it. But it's all
Yeah, that's okay. You can redo your rant. I don't care.
well. I'll keep. So my 2 cents worth I just said, and I guess nobody heard it. But it's all
Yeah, that's okay. You can redo your rant. I don't care.
well. I'll keep. My
Duke, that's through you.
Yeah, I screwed up.
And 3 live streams without that happening. 3. Without one of us happening to us.
So sue me.
Oh well. George Gooding says, just got done cleaning the gun all off my hand so I don't mess up my keyboard. That's a good reason to clean gun oil off your hands. But, well, no, I wanted to get everyone's opinion about Walmart. I mean, mine is until they stop basically saying you cannot have this and treating me, a hardworking citizen that has not committed anything, that says I cannot do this, do that, and treating me like I'm in a prison and that they are my overlords. I'm not spending any of my hard-earned money. I mean, I spend 8.5 hours out, and right now in Arkansas, outside, and right now here in Arkansas, it's in the 90s. If it's in the 80s, we're lucky. But I'm outside all day long. I'm working my butt off, going up and down ladders, up and down ladders, up and down ladders. No, you're not going to treat me like a 4-year-old saying I can't have something. I'll go to where I can have it. That's just why I'm not stepping foot in there unless I absolutely have to. Which, where I live, I don't really have to. I'll pay $1 extra for duct tape. I mean, I don't really use duct tape that much. But,
what I said in my rant before we actually went live, if it is convenient for me, I'll go to Walmart. All right. And I want to give you one little example. I bought this, 10 years ago, a little Remington Realtree backpack. Walmart sold this for, I think, $29.95. Dick's Sporting Goods sold the same damn thing, exactly the same one, for $79.95. So I don't go to Dick's anymore, but just to make the point, if I need a pair of pants or a pair of socks, it's 9 o'clock at night, everything else is closed, and I can't sleep, whatever. You know what? I'll go. Now, I don't get my oil change there anymore. I don't like their tire policy because they don't let me mix match sizes. If I want to have bigger tires in the back of my truck than the front, you know what? The hell with them. I go to Discount Tires. They give me what I want. And ever since they come up with their new policy, I still walk in there with my 6-gun on. Still got my 6-gun, big old 45 Colts right across the back of my belt. They don't say nothing to me. And if they say, sir, we'd like you to cover that up, or you got to take that off, and I got to walk back outside and it's no longer convenient, well, that's fine. I'm not going to take a criminal trespass charge. I'm just going to say, okay, well, y'all have a nice day. Because you can come back in when you put it up. I says, you know what? I'll just take myself and my money, and I'll go someplace else, and y'all have a nice day. Now, HEB, our big food chain, they already got the 30-7 posts at no open carry. And as I was saying earlier, me and my son were going to barbecue, and I needed to go buy a barbecue grill. So they got the little $99 grills outside. All I did is I reached up, pull my shirt out of my pants with these suspenders on, tuck them down here up underneath, and you could completely see the printed gun on my hip. I mean, you could tell it. Well, you know exactly what it is. But I met the legal requirement 30-7. You can see it. I walked in there. I bought my grill. I walked in. I've probably been in HEB 10 times in the last 3 years since we got open carry. So, I mean, they kind of lost me with the whole getting rid of the Confederate battle flag thing under Obama. You know, you could get an ISIS cake baked, but you couldn't get a Confederate flag cake baked.
Yeah, that pissed me off too.
It's just one thing after the other. So if it's convenient for me, I'll go give them $20 worth of blue jeans. But they don't sell me $2,000 TV sets anymore. They don't sell me $800, $900 tires anymore. Then, like I said, I got 6 boxes of 9mm. I walked up there with my 6-gun strapped on me after the little policy, and I bought out the last 6 boxes of those 9mm for $5 a box. You know what? I'm not going to let somebody else get it. I don't shoot 9mm per se that much anymore, but if I do, I got 350 rounds sitting over there. I can go shoot for a while.
Nice.
My wife's got a little G2 in the car, and I got my Glock 19, and I sold my Luger and my P38. So the only thing I got left is those two, and I think I got my Beretta in there, but I usually put the Shiner 22 conversion kit on it. But that's the way I am. You know, I'm never going to say never walking back in there, because if it's 9:30 at night and I need a can of brake fluid, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to get me a can of brake fluid, because O'Reilly's is already closed. You know, if it's convenient for me, I'll do it. But I walked into AFES, the Army Air Force Exchange, with a half a haircut and a set of broken clippers. They wouldn't give me an exchange. Well, for the next 11 years of my Army career, before I got out, every time I bought a lawnmower, or every time I bought anything that I could get at Walmart or someplace else, I'd say that $9 set of clippers cost Walmart, or cost AFES, probably about $20,000 or $30,000 on the shallow side. Now, if I'm in Bosnia, I got pretty much one place to go get a bag of potato chips. It's going to be at AFES, but you know, if I'm in an armpit or a shithole, you're going to go in there. But anything I can buy someplace else, I'll do it. Unless it's just totally inconvenient.
And Duke, what's your opinion? I mean, I know you've been up since what, 3 this morning?
Yeah. So I'm kind of out of it.
Well, what's your opinion on this whole Walmart saying they're not going to sell they're not going to sell these certain calibers, and what's your stance on it?
It's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. I went in there the other day. Like Don said, it was just convenient for me. I was looking for some hunting clothing, and the other store that I was going to go to is already closed, so I went there. But the thing that really pissed me off, and probably the reason I'm not going to go back and use that Walmart anymore, is I went in, and used to be there was like 20 checkout lanes. Then it got to where only like 3 or 4 of those were on at a time. Well, I was in there the other day, and they've totally revamped that. Now there's 5 checkouts. All the rest of it's self-checkout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do self checkout because I'm not their employee. When I walk in, I want somebody to check me out, because when somebody says I can't find a job, that's why I'm on welfare. That's because you did it to yourself, because you wanted $15 an hour to be an unskilled asswipe.
Yeah.
HEB Distribution in Temple, Texas. If you scrub the toilets and mop the floors, you get $15 an hour. You know, when they said we're not going to give our mechanics who make $17 an hour a pay raise, most of them started locking up their toolboxes to go home. And like, what are you doing? Well, I'm not going to work here for $17 an hour when this guy makes $15 to scrub a toilet. I'll just go scrub toilets. Well, we need forklift mechanics. Well, I need fucking $27 an hour, or you can kiss my butt. So they all got about, $3, $4, $5 pay raise. I mean, that's kind of the way it is. I want to say Bangs, California. It's like out there next to Fort Irwin. $15 an hour McDonald's. When I was told it was going to cost me $9.70 for a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with a hash brown and a small cup of coffee, I told them you can keep that. It wasn't very good at $5.50. It's damn sure not going to be any better at $9.
Hell no.
So, I mean, self-checkout, people have done that for themselves. Clinton destroyed minimum wage and low-paying jobs when he come up with the idea that if you work full-time, you're going to have to be given health care benefits and all this stuff that part-time does not. So people that used to work a 40-hour week at McDonald's now have a 20-hour week at McDonald's and a 20-hour week at Burger King.
Yep.
Scariest word you can ever tell somebody. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. You don't believe me? Look at a gas can.
Yeah. Only the government could F up a gas can.
Literally. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh. That's how it's so many debates with libtards. Literally. Oh.
No, the big reason why Walmart's doing that here in Colorado is because they've been raising the minimum wage. And I think by like 2023, the minimum wage here is supposed to be like $25 an hour or some bullshit like that. But it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, because your property taxes are going to be like California, where you're making $25 an hour living in a tent.
Shit.
In a plastic bag, with a wrapped around the inside of a bucket.
I'm glad I live down in the section that I live at, and I'm not up around that shithole called Denver, but Jesus Christ, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it is everywhere, honestly.
I mean, I wish I'd had talked my family into selling out down here and going to South Dakota when I was going to college, because in South Dakota you could still get some fairly cheap piece of ground with a house on it, but nowadays it's even expensive up there too. But it's getting fucking ridiculous.
Oh, you want to know how ridiculous it is? I own 2 acres, right?
Yeah.
An acre of my land is worth $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, because it is in the middle of a farmland near a lot of hunting places, and it's a corner lot with not one but 4 different well spots on it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I own all the mineral rights to it.
Right. I will say, what's surprising is down here where I'm at, the taxes have gone down a little bit, because when I was a kid, I remember grandma had to pay like $800 a year for taxes. Now they're like $350 a year, but still, they're
They double mine up here in Bell County.
they're probably going to go up here again, because a neighbor down the road, he improved his house, and they put a big hemp farm in down here. I don't know if the hemp farm will bring us up or bring us down, but I don't know. It smells like skunk ass every time I step outside the door.
Yeah.
Well,
I need to go down to the VA and get my disability check, and then I can tell the tax office to go kiss it, among other things. But yeah, the idea that you work and you pay for something and it's supposed to be yours, but it's not, because if you don't pay the taxes on it, it won't be yours in a year.
There ain't a damn thing that they don't tax.
Well, my buddy Jonathan, he had a problem with his family, so he went to England, and it's pretty much everything I already knew. There is a 20% sales tax on everything in England.
Wow.
No matter what it is, it's 20% sales tax. If you have a television, every TV in your house, there's a TV tax. There's a tax on this. We've got over 300 taxes in America. 911, FCC. I don't even know if anybody can name all the taxes we have. County road and bridge. But, they say you only live on 60% of your income, because 30% of it goes to tax. And I think it's even higher than that, because when I was in the oil field, I'd be getting $2,700 a week paychecks working 110 hours a week at $20 an hour. Then it's, everything above 40's $30 an hour. Well, they take $1,000 a week in taxes. So, I mean, they're getting me like, what, 35, 40% tax rate on income.
Yeah.
And now you're at 40% tax, income tax. Well, now they're going to get another 8 to 12% sales tax. And on top of the sales tax, there's going to be county road and bridge, FCC, 911, everything you can think in the world of tax, there's a tax on.
Yeah, it's just getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. It honestly is.
And then you go back, Warren and all the people in their districts, you're paying the taxes and they're not even representing you. They're representing the illegals that they're trying to give all your money to.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's no government housing available. Sorry, you're in a wheelchair and you're 100% disabled, but that's for all the refugees coming in from Syria. We can't give you one of them. No infidels allowed. I mean, come on.
What it seems like.
That's exactly what it is. It don't seem like nothing. That's exactly what it is.
Well,
get people out of government housing, tear it down, build new houses, but don't let nobody but refugees move back into it. And now you got to go find your own place to live.
Well, you know how we fix it? We take a lot of
What did they? 25% of conservative voters did not show up at the polls last election.
Yep.
There are people who vote Democrat for a living. And some of them, especially if you're dead, vote 10 or 15 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get living people to get off their ass to go vote once.
I voted. I voted everything.
Then you look at all the elections like in Arizona, whatever, where they come up short on votes. And, we just found all these votes. Well, damn, this paper's faded and the ink ain't even dry on that one. And the election's been over for a week.
Right?
So, oh, God, it's so bad you can't even make this stuff up. You can say, oh, you're crazy, Don. You're just full of, even the conspiracy theorists can't come up with anything this stupid.
Well, what I find funny is if Arizona, the one between Arizona and Texas, I can't remember that one off the top of my head. New Mexico, right? Yeah. Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and Tennessee, and Kentucky secede from the United States. There's enough resources, natural resources, beef, rice, manpower, wood, and seaports to literally cripple most of the rest of the United States.
Yep.
Do you realize Texas, the taxes that's collected from Texas provides 1/13 of the entire federal budget?
Yeah, like I said, that's what I'm
$21 billion divided by 13 is how much? That's a lot of money.
Don, I want.
They say, oh, well, you'd lose all your federal funding if you seceded. Well, fuck, we give you all the money to begin with. We'll just keep the federal savings,
Don, I just want you to know something. This bottle was opened today. Don't ask any math questions. I had a bad week. Leave me alone.
Yeah, federal funding is funded by the people. You lose the people, they ain't paying you that federal funding anymore, you dumb shits.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that video that Jim Thomas shared and I put it on Beer Joint? The guys did the Beatles parody about Bernie Sanders. They're doing, I don't know, 8 days a week, or I Want to Hold Your Hand, or one of those songs. It's like, vote for me and I'll give you all this money. Vote for me and I'll give you Bob's money.
Yeah, I remember that one now.
Vote for me and I'm going to give you all this free. I'm going to give all this money to you. It's not free money, but I'm going to give it to you because you voted for me. Because I took it from all these other suckers that we threatened to put in prison if they didn't pay taxes on their money.
You know, if all the Americans are, well, all the conservative Americans decide, fuck it, I'm not paying taxes anymore. Every one of them, you know, we could shut the government down ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I took the rest of this year off, because I already made enough money that I just quit working, because at the end of the year, I'm going to get my damn money back. Because I haven't made just an ungodly amount of money. If I go back out in the oil field, they're talking $35 an hour to do oversized heavy haul. If I do that for 2 years and I stick up enough money, I ain't going to worry about Social Security. I'll have my own retirement account.
Yeah.
Of course, now they want to act like they're going to put you in jail if you got money and you don't put it in the bank. That, it's illegal to have all this money. It's not in the bank, and we don't know if you got it or not. And
well, fuck, Bernie Sanders wants to make you pay taxes on everything every year. So usually money you pay taxes on at once.
Yeah, that's what the whole deal is. If you've got $100,000 in cash money in your safe or buried in your backyard, he wants to get 8 or 9 or 6 whatever percent of that money that you already have that you paid taxes on when you made it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the whole deal. You can't just go make money. Okay, here, I made my fucking million. I'm going to live 20 years. I'm going to divide this up into 20 years worth. Okay, 20 times 12. I got 240 months. I got $1 million. I'm going to live on this much money till the day I die, whether I get Social Security or not. They don't want you to be able to do that. They want to say, you got $200,000. So we're going to put you in this 30% tax bracket. We're going to take $30,000 of that $100,000 every year so we can give it to somebody else. And now you have to go back to work. That's the whole thing. That's socialism and communism.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Tax the rich into poverty.
But here's the thing. I'm not ready to say it.
The simplest way you explain the 4 political systems. All right, now oligarchy is pretty much the same thing. You got a regime and you have a monarchy. They're the same thing. It's a figurehead sitting in a chair controlled by the elite few who has their minions enforce their will upon the masses. That's a communist regime or a monarchy. Either way, there's a dictator who's a figurehead controlled by the few. And the people, the masses, are governed by them and rule, and then their will is enforced on by the minions. Now, in a democracy, that's the simplest one. That's 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what to have for dinner. Only in the republic can the sheep say, wait a minute, I got representation. You just can't vote away my rights.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people don't, what I'm going to say this, a lot of people don't understand is the Bill of Rights is not to keep us in check, to keep the government in check.
Yep.
Yeah. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights give the American citizen absolutely nothing. Everything that we have, every right that we have was given to us by our Creator at the time of our birth. All the Constitution and the Bill of Rights state is that the government did not give us these rights and they cannot take them away.
Mm-hmm.
You look up federal and state penal codes, 18 USC 242, deprivation of rights under color of office. It says, shall not pass any statute, law, ordinance, regulation in any state, county, region, territory, municipality that denies or impedes a citizen in the exercise and enjoyment of any right, privilege, or immunity. It's a Class A misdemeanor to pass that law. It's a Class A misdemeanor to enforce that law, and if you use a weapon, it becomes a felony. And if you cause injury or death to a citizen while enforcing that law, you can receive life imprisonment or the death penalty as a public servant. The guy that got murdered by the cops in Massachusetts or New Jersey, Massachusetts, or whatever, at the red flag law confiscation, those officers should be on death row right now.
Yes, they should. Because red flag law is against the Constitution. It is against everything. And then there are people in Arkansas trying to get passed, and it will not pass.
Texas just threw out red light cameras because Greg Abbott, our governor, said you can't have red light cameras because you're forcing a citizen to prove himself innocent, and it is our duty to prove the citizen guilty in order to fine him. So if you're gonna stand up here and say, "Hey, red light cameras are unconstitutional, get rid of them," how the hell are you gonna put in red flag laws to confiscate private property even though no crime has been committed? That's straight out of Joseph Stalin's playbook. Watch your neighbor and tattle on him, and we'll come get him.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I hate to say this, but there's a lot of politicians that need to be, well,
Prosecuted.
let's just say this: we need a lot of hemp rope, because a lot of them have done treasonous acts. I hate to say this. No, I don't. I honestly don't. Our founding fathers would be stacking bodies right now. And the way our system is right now, they'd be stacking bodies. High.
Supreme Court, 1953-54. Failure to honor your oath to the Constitution is treason, and treason is punishable by death.
Beto O'Rourke should be first in line.
You mean Francis?
What's that?
You mean good old Francis? His name is not Pudo, it's Francis.
Francis Pudo, or what the hell is that?
Francis Pinero.
Duke, let him try to come get my gun.
Yeah, come and take it, motherfucker.
Come and take it. You'll get a piece.
In the words of the great Charlton Heston, from my cold dead hands.
Yep, from Moses himself.
Yeah. I forgot he played Moses.
Get your damn dirty paws off me. Or get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
Somebody needs to say that to Pudo when he's at one of his speeches. Get your paws off my gun, you damn dirty ape.
Oh, well, I can't remember, but I can't remember the lady's name, but she was. I think you shared a post. One of y'all two shared a post about her. I can't remember. It's probably
She's Bar and Grill.
yeah. I want that.
Colorado.
Yeah, I want those to open up.
You're going to try ARs and AKs? Well, hell no, you're not. I'm a mother of four. Yeah, she told him, hell no, you're not. So then they started, just beating her up. You're like, look, I don't have my AR, but I do have my Glock. But don't worry, I got your back.
Oh, here's the thing. The police know as soon as if they come knock on that door, I've got a pistol in my hand. They knock and say, "Hey, it's blah 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 from the police department. Need to talk to you about blah blah blah." Before I even get to that door. So and they know I will shoot and I don't miss. I took William to the gun range. They know. They know someone bust up in that door because they've had to come on a call because someone's done that. What will happen to someone that just busts through my front door? I had to patch the bullet hole. it was a little too hot of a round for close quarter combat. If anyone is getting the gist. Because here in Arkansas, if they come through that front door, I have the right to shoot them dead, whether they are packing or not. Eminent domain. That is especially because I have a disabled brother and my elderly mother in the house with me. It doesn't matter if they're hurt, if they bust into my house, they're getting a bullet. And the police know that. And everybody around here knows that if you just come to my door and knock and tell me who it is, you'll be met with a nice person. But if you try to bust up in my house, you're going to get a bullet.
Well, what are our questions? Do we have any being posted that people would like to have answered?
No?
There's only like 4 watching according to my end, so
I don't have anything that says how many or whoever or whatever.
Yeah. The only reason I have it up, know how many people's watching everything, because I'm the host. Well, while we've got dead air, Duke, why don't you tell us about your hunting trip?
oh geez. I got out of the car and I've been doing that thing where you do I try to do a shock call, blow a coyote or a pheasant or a crow to get the turkeys to gobble. Well, all the last few times I went hunting, I blew that, never got a response, and that usually meant there's no birds around. Well, I blew that this morning and I didn't get a response, and I thought, crap, I drove 3 hours, hour and a half anyway, 3 hours round trip, but drove an hour and a half to not find anything. So I load up and I thought, well, I'll go hiking anyway. Maybe I'll find something, or if nothing else, I'll go back to the car and shoot doves. And I wasn't 20 minutes away from the car hiking in, and I was right in the middle of the turkeys, and I got them started. When I found out they was real close by, I started doing the slate squawker. And sure enough, big old Tom leads 30 of them out all together in kind of a group, leads them around the tree. I put my bead on him, and I was gonna just about ready to pull the trigger when he got clear of the others, and 2 coyotes just tore into the middle of them. Turkeys went frickin' everywhere.
Wow.
And then the coyotes didn't get anything, and then they got to fighting and then making such a racket, I figured the turkeys would disappear and never come back, so I shot the frickin' coyotes.
Hey, coyote means good.
Well, number 4 bird shot at 40 yards. I just pretty much aggravated them, but
They'll run off. They'll run off and die somewhere else.
yeah. But yeah, I spent the next hour and a half after that trying to find the birds, and I thought they'd went down the canyon because that was the last I seen them. Well, they took a hook and they come up back the canyon wall and went right back to the same spot, and I hiked past them, and then I went up and over and come up on a ridge and glassed, and I found them, and then I spent another hour and a half going back and forth, but they were so stirred up then, they see me coming from a quarter mile away, they'd take off at a dead run going the other direction. But they got into there's a rock quarry in the middle of this hunting area, and it's a safety zone. You can't do any hunting, can't even have a gun on you when you go into that safety zone. And I kept dodging them in that, trying to get up and get around them, and they finally just sat down and wouldn't move. So I decided to call it a day. I'm going to try them next week or 2, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get out to the farm Saturday or tomorrow or Sunday. Maybe do a little shoot and do some videos.
Yeah.
I basically take the SOCOM and everything I got zeroed in. I do a 25-yard zero, then I shoot it in at 100 yards where I want. So I need to shoot the SOCOM, and I want to basically. I'm just going to throw a soaking can out, probably about 150 yards, and if I can hit that, then I'm good after about 200 with it. So this got 325 grain lever evolution bullets, probably around 1,600 feet per second. So once I get past 200, it's gonna drop like a brick. But I need to shoot that. I got a 308 Savage with the Cabela's reticle specific scope. I need to zero that in at 100. I want to shoot my brown bass. It's right back there behind me. I want to shoot that, and I want to shoot my little 36 Frontier rifle too.
That sounds like fun. I want to see those videos. So, I have a question. And people, whoever's watching, can answer this as well. When does your deer season for like whatever you go through first? I usually start with muzzleloaders because I can't hit anything with a bow.
They got we don't really have a muzzleloader season down in Bastrop. It's usually bow season. Then you go straight into gun. And gun you can shoot whatever you want. But Christ, I haven't actively deer hunted in so long. I don't even know I could answer that question. I got the fish and game guide around here somewhere. I don't even really.
Oh, I got mine in front of me.
I need to get into this one day and find out. Like Bastrop, Bastrop doesn't have a doe season. You're not allowed to take a doe usually. County by county.
And the zone I'm live in is limits 4 deer, no more than 2 bucks, which include 2 bucks with archery, muzzleloader, or modern gun, so basically 2 bucks all year round. 4 does with archery, 2 does with muzzleloader or modern gun combined. So basically, you get 4 deer all year. That's it, and no dog hunting.
I think Bastrop's a $1 county with no does.
But we have more. We have an abundance of deer here in Arkansas. Of course, Arkansas. A lot of people come from out of state to hunt too here. I think it's.
Well, that's the same here in South Texas. It's like, when you think about it, you can go big game hunting in Africa. You can go hunt game in Africa cheaper than you can hunt in South Texas, or really about for the same amount of money.
True. You want to come hunt with me? Yeah, bring a bottle of whiskey and try to sleep in a tent. That's how I do it. If I'm gonna be out there hunting, I'm gonna be sleeping in my tent. I've got a tent. I've got a cot. I go cowboy style. Screw it. Well, as long as there's not like snow on the ground, then I've got a little cabin out there that's got a little propane heater in it. But most of the time, I'm sleeping in the tent with a little campfire I've dug.
I got the old farmhouse, but it's got so much rat poop and dust and dirt. I just throw up a tent, and it's a nice clean place, and I got a fire going, and a lot of times I'll go mow the grass up. If I even got to mow it, usually the cattle knock it down. But I'll just set up next to the old cow pens, and I'm in a little enclosure, and I got a shed if I need it. I like camping. When I go out, I like to camp. I don't really like to stay in a house out there. It's just we cleaned it up 2 weeks later. The kitchen counter was covered in rat poop again. Because if you're not living there, you can't keep them out.
Yeah,
you put that out there, you'll either get ate by the coyotes or run off because there's a fox. There's a fox that lives in our Ashley wood burner stove. So the house is pretty much abandoned. It's on its way down, but I just go out there, throw up a tent. I'm perfectly happy.
I need to look into getting a wood burning stove. We're out there, it's not going to be that hard to install.
No, you get one of them. You can get the barrel kits and build them. Easy enough.
Yeah, I could get some metal barrels and build one myself. I just don't.
Yeah, you can buy those. You can buy the cast iron doors, and you can get all that kit stuff right off the internet.
Yeah, it's not going to take that hard. Right now, it's more about time. I got
one out here in the yard. My in-laws. He's just sitting out there rotting.
Oh, if I can ever get I have to spend about 2 months
to get rid of it. I'm about to tell you to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it for you.
Well, if I can get the my Ford Explorer running, only thing that's wrong with it is the blinker, and I have to replace all the wiring to the blinkers. And I just don't have the time to. I'm gonna have to drop 240 to get that fixed. The dealership.
Well, what's wrong with the wire? Is it burned up or what?
They've been chewed on and they just don't work.
Well, you need one wire, just come up the steering column right there where it goes in and run it on down, take it on back there to it. You can use a trailer wiring harness kit for like probably $20.
Yeah, but then I just gotta have the time. That's the problem. It's just the time. On the weekends, I'm busy. When I get home, I work 5 days a week. I pull 40 hours in that week. By the time I get home at the end of the day, I hit the couch and I'm asleep. I might have time to glance through Facebook, right? That maybe. Most of the time, I throw on Netflix on my PlayStation 4. I throw on Longmire, even though I've watched it like 12 times already. And then I'm out. And then Longmire plays until Netflix until my PlayStation shuts off at night. Goes into power saving mode. That's it. But on the weekends, I'm doing all the week I should have been doing work I should have been doing in my garden. I've got some more crops that aren't. I got some things like okra and stuff that are not done growing yet. They're still constantly growing. I got some not cantaloupe, cucumbers that I'm canning to make pickles and all that. Just de-weeding and all that. Stuff I should have been doing through the week, but just nope. I get home, leave at the crack of dawn, get home right before dusk. It's an hour and a half there. It's a 3 hour round trip. You know where I live at, Don. Then I have to go all the way to Memphis, and then all the way back. Every 5 days a week.
When I was stationed in Waco as an Army recruiter, I drove an hour each way, but basically that was just to get from the house to the recruiting station. Then I'd jump in the G-Jet and drive another hour to get out to Martin, Riesel, Groesbeck, Hay, and all that. Not fun. All I did is drive all day.
So, we got off the topic. Duke, when does your deer season start?
I don't know because I keep missing the freaking deadline to apply.
Oh, that's right. You have to apply in your state.
Yeah, we got to do or limited draw.
Shoot, just come down here.
Turkeys, like the one spot that I'd love to go turkey hunting where I know there's a lot of birds at, it's a limited draw in the fall, so I can't go there, but I got the over-the-counter, so I've got a good section of the state to go in. I got a lot of spots I can go where they're not hunted. Obviously, where I was at down there's so many freaking coyotes and bears and other shit, there ain't much hunting going on. But, yeah, all the big game is limited draw.
Well, here, maybe because they're so plentiful, right. I buy my hunting license. I get my deer tags and goose and duck tags all with that license. Like, literally, that's it. And then you get given one of these books. You get one of the books, and then there's your deer tags and stuff in it right there.
Right.
You can pick this up. It's free. Right. But
our deer tags, hunting license, we got the little tags put on it.
Yeah, but
I said you might have. I don't even know. You might have like 5 tags for a buck, but you can only shoot one of them in Bastrop County. Then you got to go to another county, and another county, and another county.
See, for archery, you got from like basically the 1st of October to the 31st of December with some breaks in there. Probably during the rifle season breaks, but for rifle, you only get like a week at a time for rifle.
I think our deer season is the 31st of December to the 31st of January or something like that.
See, for Plains deer, it's October 26th to November 5th.
Yeah, it's only like 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't give you a lot of time to hunt deer or elk. And they also got like first season.
Colorado,
You got the first season, which is 4 days. Second season is 8 days. Third season's 8 days. And then fourth season is 4 days again.
I just saw that comment, George.
George right there. You don't need a gun. You just drive down the road at dusk. It's kind of like that going out to Kirby. My son had a great big giant ranch hand on his truck, and he hit about 8 deer at 70 miles an hour, and it just decapitated and shredded them. And
Shit.
he just got his hammer out and beat the bumper back out in a couple spots, and they're like guts and everything else all up underneath the truck of that. But yeah, he took out a whole herd with that thing.
Well, here in my state, it's broken. Gun season is broken up into 2 seasons. You've got your muzzle loading season, which it has to load from the muzzle. I really like it. Okay. And then you've got your modern gun season. And yes, by the rules, this is a modern gun. For hunting,
It's not a muzzle loader.
it goes like that. Even though it's a percussion cap, black powder.
It's a breech loading. How do they put it here in Colorado? That would be considered in Colorado inline because it loads from the breech.
Oh, really?
Nowadays, you can use those during muzzleloader season too, as long as you use a round ball. But yeah, if it isn't stuff from the front, they don't really consider it a muzzleloader. They consider it an inline.
I wanted to ask you about that because I talked to somebody that came up and it was on a gun trader deal. In Colorado, is there a distinction between a traditional side lock muzzleloader and an inline muzzleloader?
Not anymore. It's the projectiles that they distinguish. Used to be when I was a kid, an inline was only legal during rifle season, but you couldn't use sabots or sabos, however you choose to pronounce it. In fact, in muzzleloader season, you can't even use a mini ball. It has to be a round ball only. Nowadays, they don't distinguish, but it's still on the bullet. You can't use a sabot in muzzleloader season here. You can't use the pellets that are attached to the plastic thing where you just stuff the whole unit down in one. That's considered a cartridge at that point. They get pretty ridiculous on that. And it used to be that for deer, all you needed was a 40 caliber. Now, in order to hunt anything big game, it's got to be 50 caliber or bigger. And then it also has to produce so many foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. So
I came to Colorado probably in 2009 or 10 with 2 of my buddies, and I just carried my Vaquero for bear or whatever, my old model with the contender loads. But they came during muzzleloader season. Oh no, actually they came during rifle season. They used to always come during muzzleloader, but they came during rifle season that year.
Right.
And I know my friend Brian was telling me that I could use my 50 caliber TC Hawken, but you got to have a minimum bullet weight of like 180 grains or something.
right, yeah. Which would be just about what the heck is a 50 caliber? I can't even remember how much that weighs.
I don't know if it's on I got some over here, but I don't know if it's on the box or not.
I think the ones I cast are like the round balls that I cast. They usually come out about 170-ish grains.
Okay.
I mean, ish, but they're the 490 round balls, and it's that combo mode. The round ball and the Lee Real Bullet, and I prefer this TPA Bobcat loves the Lee Real Bullet. I mean, it is bing right there. It also likes round ball too, but it's not as accurate. That's more of my plinking round. It's accurate enough for plinking, but trying to go 2 acres, I would prefer the real bullet. And also, I mean, 320 grains versus 170
Right.
ish variations. You know,
My TC Hawken with the double set trigger, 25 yards kneeling will basically shoot one whole shot group to 25 yards. So I have no hangups about taking that out to 100, 125 yards, depending on the bullet drop. And I usually shoot a standard 70 grain powder charge, which I know you can or whatever. But
I use 65 grains because I mean, it's
well, you got to look
What
up
happened?
the Sharps is a good rifle, 300 or 400 grain projectile, but that's still a man stock. That was a man killing rifle, not necessarily a big game hunting rifle unless you're getting into the longer barrels and stuff.
Right.
Okay. My TV cut off, and that's what I'm using for my monitor. Okay. Now, so what was being said?
Saying your Sharps carbine, it shoots a 300-400 grain bullet, but the 65 grain charges, that's a man stopping combat rifle for its day. It's not the big, the big bore buffalo gun.
That one. Well, the Christmas tree ones that Michael Stein sent me, they're 475, and but to fully fill that thing for where it headspace right and everything, it needs 80 grains.
Yeah.
But I can get with the Lee Real Bullet, I can get a maximum of 65 grains behind it. And that's what I press it all in there, then quickly close it before it springs back. And it's right up against that flash hole. So it's in that cone that's inside of it, busts the thin paper backing. So, I mean, the fire's right there on but the little filler and everything to do about the same thing, 60 grains. But I'm going to be having I got some scrap wood for the work I do. I'm going to be testing that one, just testing both of them, see which one would be more of an effective deer stopper. We'll take some 2x6 splits that I have and put some jugs behind it, some 2 liters. To act like the 2x6 stacked like two 2x6 stacked like the shoulder, and then the jugs behind it, and probably some couple magazines or something in front of it, act like the skin and meat. That way, if I know if it hits,
All your Tractor Supply and Harbor Freight and magazines and stuff that you get, you take this and you soak it in a 5-gallon bucket or throw it in a pond where you can fish it out. You get this as wet and saturated as you can get. That's how they used to do ballistic tests with, like my buddy that was a Houston detective. They would soak those phone books until they're just saturated, and that's how they did ballistic tests. And if you're on Cowboys, you see where I shot some of these with my Lyman 250 grain bullets and the 217 grain. You heard that hit, you know how heavy it is. But I was getting about 3.5, 4 inches of penetration with the Johnson and Dell conical bullets and 30 grains of black powder, and then shooting my smokeless loads with the 250 grain cowboy bullets. They're all pretty much, you know, I just about shot through that stack of magazines with the long Colts and smokeless powder. I made it probably about 3.5, 3 3/4 inches with the black powder loads. And the soft roofing flange loads didn't make it as far because they basically just flattened out and formed so bad that they went in and delivered their energy.
Well, what I was the reason I'm gonna be doing this test is I'm gonna be having out as far as that I have seen deer on that 2 acres. Because they only bed there during the wintertime because we let the grass get tall, so it's a nice bedding area for them. And put it out as far as I've seen them, and just make sure that the load's right, which projectile will. Basically, what I'm trying to do is simulate it hitting the shoulder and see if it'll have enough penetration power to go through and hit both lungs. So I'm gonna build 2x6 with some magazine in front of it, the two-liter jugs to act as the lungs, and then another 2x6 holding that on there. So it's a closed. So see what it does. At I think 100 yards should be more than efficient for each of the bullet.
I hit a 175-pound buck with my trapdoor carbine. That's a 405 grain bullet, 4570 with 28 grains of 4198. I shoot about 1,300 feet per second muzzle velocity, which is equivalent to 55 grains of black powder in the 4570 cartridge.
Well,
it basically blew it blew a half-inch hole completely through that bullet. It kept going.
Don, you remember shooting this one, right?
Yeah.
The load that I loaded into this rifle was the same load I dropped 3 deer with. And that was last year. It didn't kick hard, and it delivered a lot of punch.
Those are good little rifles.
Yeah.
People knock them because they're black plastic stocks, but they're good little rifles. It's the same barrel as everything else.
I mean, I've been thinking about getting a wood stock for it, but
why?
Yeah, that's kind of the question that keeps on my mind. Why? I mean,
Just get you another gun with a wood stock and keep that one for your pickup truck. And the nice thing about that gun is, as long as the board's on it's clean and it shoots, why would you even care about the rest of it?
Well, originally I got it because I was going to go to a rendezvous. It's a cheap gun. I can get a cheap stock for it. That would match, a plains gun. Make it look similar to a plains gun. The plastic stock for hunting. And then I just stopped thinking about going to rendezvous. Oh, this rifle right here almost put me in the top place. Put me in 5th place at the Arkansas muzzleloading for the rifle division. I almost made member status there too. But everyone there, a few.
Give me a second.
You still with us, Duke?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Well, I'll tell you and the rest of the people. The first time I showed up with this one in a Remington, people made fun of me, and then they seen how good I could shoot with this thing. So that's why I'm not really a traditionalist. But I think the big advantage that I have of this one is that brass front sight, because it's very easy to see. And almost any light, any kind of light, it's lighting that up. It's kind of like an EOTech sight. I mean, it is early. I guess you could say it's early antique EOTech, and that front brass sights, and that's what I'm gonna have the gunsmith I'm talking to. Well, all I have to do is send him the gun and the payment, and it's done. I just gotta get the money for that. At my competition, Remington.
You were asking about the front sights. Mike Bellevue had the post. He was asking, would it be enough popular demand for him to make another video about installing front sights on his cap and ball pistol? And I think the unanimous response was, yeah, we'd really like to see you do that.
Yeah, I mean, I even commented on that. Like, yeah, that would be something I'd watch it. But the reason why I'm having a gunsmith do it is, one, I have the tools, I just don't have the time. You know.
My thing is, I'm not working right now, and I've got all the time in the world, but I get so freaking overwhelmed because my son moving in and just dumping everything in this room. I mean, you could actually look behind me and see the floor now. That's the first time in about probably 4 or 5 months that you could actually walk in and not trip over something and see the floor, because I didn't want to just start throwing stuff away. And I went through my little spiel like on my baker's rack back here. I reorganized it, but then I went through about a week of not being able to find anything. So I finally got everything back to where, it's organized. I can find it. I know pretty much where everything's at. But you just get so overwhelmed with stuff. It's like, I got my 30 days in Facebook jail, and I mean, I did a lot of training, and I'm sitting here with like 8 rifles that need to be shot and zeroed. And it's like, if I'm going to go to a public range, I want to get my money's worth. But then it's like, you don't want to just take everything up there, because now you're not even going to be able. You get so overwhelmed with it, you don't know which one to pick up first and do.
That's why I kind of like having the little range that I've got.
Yeah, when I lived in Copper's Cove, I could walk out the back door and shoot, and that was great. By the time I drive an hour and 45 minutes, and if I'm going to go zero, set up a table, set up targets, set up this, set up that, I'd rather just go down here, pay $15, and have a 25-yard known distance indoor range to get my basic zero. When I go to the farm, I'll take a shooting position, shoot offhand or from the kneeling, and like I said, I'll just go stick me a soda can full of water out there at 150 yards. If I can hit the soda can, I can hit a deer.
Yeah.
But I got to shoot both my A1s. I got to shoot both the A1s. I got to zero my AR pistol. I got to do the iron sights and the EOTech. I've got to 100-yard zero the 458 SOCOM. I'm not worried about iron sights, but I got to do the tri-power and the ATN night sight. And then I got to shoot the brown vest, and I got to shoot the Frontier rifle. And I did get to shoot my new Glock, and it locked up to where the trigger wouldn't reset because they put an aftermarket trigger in. If you want a dependable Glock, leave it stock. Well, I took it apart, got it working. I ran 60 rounds through it without a problem, so I think I got it done. And then I got rid of my Keltec RDB. I got some cash, but this is the Auto Ordnance by Carr, American-made 1911, and it's got all the traditional GI thumb safety, spurred hammer. This is identical to a World War II 1911. It's even got the little lanyard loop on it.
Yep.
And what's not historically accurate about it that I really, really like is the fact that it's got gray Cerakote on it. So I got the best of both. I got a World War II Mark configured pistol with modern Cerakoting, and these are I put the grips on. I had Colt rubber grips. These are from the Korean War era, about mid 1950s, but these are the brown GI issue grips. So I'm very happy with this everyday carry gun.
I think the Mark that you're thinking of for World War II would be the Mark 8. It was the 1911 M1A1 Mark 8, I believe. 8 or 9, I can't remember. I think the Korean with the rubber grips was Mark 9 or 10. but I'm not too up on my 1911 history. I have I have my grandpa's. I go out, I shoot it. It works.
You got Remington, I got the same one, Remington Typewriter Company.
Yeah, I mean that's that's all I need to know about it. I know where it comes from.
1911s. They stopped making them, I think, in 1943 or 42 because they had so many of them. It's like they didn't need to build any more.
Yeah,
For the I mean, I'm probably off on my dates, but I know they got a certain point. They just stopped production because they said we've got so many. We're not going to have to build any more because, if you need barrels, you can purchase barrels, you can purchase hammers, but to build a complete 1911, they quit. Now all your guns that came out of the Pacific there between corrosive ammo and saltwater, most of those went over the side of the ship, and we got issued new guns.
I think they stopped at the end of World War II making even like replacement guns for like servicemen because servicemen were coming back. They if they didn't want to buy them, they got thrown into unloaded, thrown into a bin, and then I think after Korea they got surplus.
I know in the late 60s, you could buy 55-gallon barrels full of 1911 parts, and then you bought the SX receiver, and people had the roll stamps to counterfeit them and all this other stuff. And I mean, one of my buddies, his uncle had a custom shop back in the 60s down in Houston. He ordered like 2 cases of M1 carbines, auto ordnance, and his uncle says, "So what are you going to do with these? You going to sell them?" He says, "No, I got roll stamps at the house. When I get done with them, they're all going to be Winchesters. I'm going to jack the price up and resell them after I do the new roll stamps." M1 carbines, single action Colts, 1911s are the most counterfeited guns on the planet. That's why you got to have an entire encyclopedia edition and know everything. And even then, you got to know the finish. You got to know this. You got to know that. Your gun's probably the same as mine. It looks like they cut the slide and re-welded it. Well, they didn't, because if the finish is even, then it was refinished. If it's darker at the end where the barrel bushing goes in, it's because they case hardened that part of the slide for the barrel bushing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much that you got to know that those are just the guns that you really don't want to get into unless you know it was somebody's granddaddy's gun and it came back from the war or whatever the deal was. Those guns were in 55-gallon barrels. They destroyed the receivers, the frames. Then people got the blank ESIC ones. They forged serial numbers. They forged markings and maker's marks, and it's just like Colt peacemakers. You go take a German gun or an Italian gun, you strip it of all the marks, you put all the proper Colt marks and stamps on it, and then you go get a bunch of first-generation barrels and stuff. You used to pick up cheap cylinders. They've been counterfeited their butt off. You never know what you're going to be buying. Anybody that says that they got an original GI 1911 from World War II is lying through his fucking teeth.
Well, the only reason I can actually legitimately say
9% of the time, they're lying through their. They all went through Arsenal reworks. No such thing as an original gun that's never been Arsenal reworked. Unless it was stolen or brought back or a local purchase or something like that.
Well, when he left, he had the ability to buy his. Sorry, I had a call. And then when he left, it was right after the Korean War when he officially got discharged, honorable discharge.
A lot of service members back then could basically fill out a statement of charges and buy their guns and take them home because they were not automatic.
Yeah, and then he got a copy of that paperwork to prove its
Authenticity.
Thank you. And then, so, I mean, it's got the serial number, his rank, and everything on it. I mean, that's how I can actually legit. And yeah, you can tell it's been worked on by an armorer, either in the field or at the back of the base, because it's got scratches, it's got dinks. It's seen hell. You know.
Let me ask you a question right quick.
Yeah.
Just for GP. Now you know this is my PF.
Yeah.
I did the antique patina on it. You know, I added the front side up here. I have beat and scuffed. I can do this. I have beat and scuffed it up with steel hammer, so you can't see the Italian marks on the barrel. You can still see them down on the frame and stuff. But with a little bit more work and a good antique patina finish, let's say I just go bury this out in my backyard for 3 months and dig it up. I just plug off the inside of the board and the cylinders where it can't get messed up. Let's say I go bury this for about 3 months. Now this is a little bit different cut right here. But I could get some sandpaper and I could work that down and I could make this look really, really close to original. And if you didn't know, I could probably, to the average person, pass this off as an original gun.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's so many reproduction Italian bayonets. They get bought from sutlers. They take all the little import marks off of them, they clean them up, and then they go bury them in their backyard for 6 or 8 months and dig them up. And now it's like, oh, well, yeah, this is an original bayonet. I dug it up from Gettysburg. And instead of a $39 bayonet, now you want $200 for a relic. And it's a cheap-ass piece of Italian trash that they bury in the backyard. I mean, you know, it's a scam.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, you know, I've got the proof to back my statement up.
Well, that's everybody that sells these guns and stuff. Oh, you got any paperwork with that? What do you mean? Well, you got CMP paperwork. You got his discharge letter, statement of charges. You know, you did some. Well, no, I don't have those. So, in other words, you got an old gun with a nice story. So it's basically an Essex receiver that's been roll stamped, and you got a counterfeit gun with some GI parts in it. So much for your 4,000. And okay, now if it says postal meter system, God, what's the other one? It's like industrial shipyard or something.
I think that
Postal meter was one M1 carbine. I'm trying to think, it was a 1911, and they're like $12,000 or $15,000 1911s could slide. And you know, it's like an M250 caliber machine gun. GM's General Motors Spark AC Delco General Motors spark plug division built 50 caliber machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
Had them in our arm drill. It was the postal or meters, like parking meter company, postal meter company was one, and I'll think of it when I'm not thinking of it. But there's some GI 1911s out there that cost $12,000-$15,000 because there was only a handful of them made. You know.
Yeah.
What Farmall International, John Deere made M1 carbines, and you find those things and it's like gold.
If I was to ever sell my my grandpa's, because I would be homeless if not. That's literally the only reason I would sell that thing. It would go for about maybe $1,200, maybe, and that would be
entry level Remington Ram like mine is about 17 entry level. Since you got paperwork and everything, I would probably start at 25 or 3,000. Anybody that doesn't want to pay it, they can go bury their head in the toilet.
Well, mine would be, you know, and then here's the thing: it would be to a serious collector or a museum. You know, it'd be somewhere that
they don't pay nothing.
Yeah, it'd be somewhere. It'd be to someone, you know, that I knew was going to take care of it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be just to some average Joe on the street that it's going to be ran
I'm not gonna lie, mine came out of a barrel of parts. I got lucky enough that it's actually got an original receiver that's not an Essex counterfeit, but my gun came out of a barrel of parts. It's not it's not an original gun. It was all sold surplus, and they put it together. Now it's put together right. It's put together really, really right, and it's probably one of the most accurate guns I own. But it's a Remington Rand is an entry level 1911. It's about $1,700. Yours, because you got all the paperwork and stuff like that. If it's the same Remington Rand as mine, like I said, if you're going to sell it, I'd start about 2,500 to 3,000 on it.
Well, like I said, I'd have to be homeless and starving to even think about it, because that's my granddad's gun.
You trade that off, you sell it, you spend the money. What do you got? Nothing.
Exactly. That's not something that just I can get back. I can go down, buy another one of. That's something I learned to shoot semi-automatics on.
Same gun as your Remington Rand, modern day Kahar with modern day. Instead of being machine parts, these are all cast, but they're all case hardened all the way through, not just on the outside. Gun for gun, this is a lot better gun, but it is exactly the same configuration for $550.
Right, but here's the thing. I have a question.
Shipped to a dealer near you.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, does it have the memories attached to it?
Nothing.
Does it have?
It had nothing. Some asshole bought it. Some asshole spent $150 to Cerakote it, and then he gave it away.
Yeah, I mean,
then the guy that I got it from got it. He didn't like it, and now I'm the proud owner, and I'll probably take it to my grave because it's a GI configuration with Cerakote.
Yeah,
it's like the person for an everyday carry. It won't rust. It won't blemish. It's impervious to the weather. I mean, they did the entire barrel. I thought about sanding that barrel down and bluing it just to give it some two-tone, but you know what? This gun will never rust. It won't corrupt. It won't do nothing. I don't even have to oil it. It's so slick.
You probably still do.
Yeah, I did, but I'm just saying, it's like the world's perfect GI 1911. It's brand new. It's American made. It's got modern parts in it. They won't wear out. I mean, you do a trigger job on a GI 1911, you go straight through the case hardening, and then the parts wear out. That's why they're parts guns. They're kit guns. You're never done on them. This one, you can put 10,000 rounds to it and not do anything to it.
That's
you
true.
can put 30,000 rounds to it. You put 30,000 rounds through this gun, you go buy a new barrel. And then you start over. You get a new barrel.
I'm going to have to call it a night, so we'll see you next time.
All right, Dave. Yeah, you get some sleep, man.
Yep.
You take care, man.
Yep.
I'm not going to be much longer myself. I'm getting kind of tired, and I need to.
Me too, but
tomorrow I need to get to bed.
But the thing is, the reason I would really never sell a thing is because that was the gun on his hip when he went into the concentration camps. That was the gun he had on his hip when he was in the Pacific. That was the gun that he used to save his life when he was trapped inside of a tank behind occupied German lines. That's not just a gun. That is a piece of personal family history. I mean, I go shoot a clip through it on his birthday. That is, it runs that. I clean it up. I put it back. It's in a lockbox. It ain't going nowhere. And if it is, it's in that lockbox. That lockbox is insured for too close to $1 million. So if it ever gets stolen out of there, because
I don't know how true it is, but they had something now where the ATF was going to start going through safety deposit boxes and confiscating guns and stuff. I don't know who that is.
L11ST. Well, here in Arkansas, that's illegal.
Most shit that they do is illegal, but they do it anyways.
Well, here's the thing: if you've got proof
I
that
would get the insurance policy on the gun, and I'd bring it home, and I would put it in a gun safe. And then if I had to take it next door or give it to somebody else, then, you know.
well, I mean, well, here's the thing: that lockboxes, until my grandmother passes, it's in her name, and then it'll be passed on to me after she dies. And then I'll be
I
able
would
to do that.
do that too, because if she incurs medical bills and they want to put liens against it, they'll seize that safe and take anything in it.
Well, supposedly, she's supposed to
Put both of your names on it, so it's 50-50.
well, the way it is now, my name's on it because that's my inheritance from him. But I cannot touch it. The way his will wrote, I cannot get all of my inheritance until after my grandmother dies.
Well, I'm just saying that if there's a way they can screw you, they will. It can be done, if there's a will, there's a way, and if there's a way, they'll definitely do it.
Well, they've never. Well, the thing is, they've never incurred a Murphy's wrath. Here's the. Yeah, but because of all that stuff, and my grandmother's read that stuff, she's just going to go ahead and go sign a whole bunch of stuff like that lockbox over supposedly this next couple of weeks and get it to where they can't do that stuff because she's starting to push 90. She didn't expect a little.
I would just bring the stuff home and put it in a safe.
Yeah, that's where it's going to go. I've bought safe. It's humid.
Put the gun in the safe, put the safe in the safe, and call it even.
Oh, the safe is bolted to my concrete floor. And you ain't. And here's the thing: if you want to get to my safe, you first have to get through that door, and then come here, Smoke. Come here. You gotta get through this big old head guy, and he barely lets me through the door at the end of the day. Without the code word. He's, for those who don't know, he's German Shepherd and Boxer mix. And he is very on the German Shepherd side. You've already had your drink for the night. Thank you very much, my drinking buddy. No, you cannot have more. Down.
I'm a little guilty about putting stuff out on the group and stuff like that, but you know, the best security, this is for everybody. Listen, the best security you got is not to tell anybody nothing about what you got.
What I'm gonna say,
it's better not to know where you keep it. That's your security. Because if you can't find it, you can't have
it. My dog's name is Smoke. What you've seen on the channel and what you see me talk about, if I lost those, oh well. But what is hidden or lost in a boating accident, you'll never see on this channel. You'll never see me post it on Facebook. You won't see me post it anywhere. Literally, what you've seen is nowhere near what I have.
Kind of like my favorite boat anchor.
Yeah. You know, if you make you a bullet trap, it'd make it easier for you to catch bullets.
Boat anchor.
I've been thinking about doing that. It's building me a little bullet trap. It's finding pure lead. That's getting a little hard where I'm at. In that roofing tin.
There's a tire shop over in Temple. It's got 3 5-gallon buckets of weights. The only thing I have to do, he said, I cannot have the clip-on weights because he reuses them, and most of them are got zinc and stuff in it anyways. But all the stick-on weights are lead, And he said I can take every single stick on. So I probably got 400 pounds of stick-on weights over there. I'm going to go get one day.
Yeah.
I need to get my butt and go do it because he's a small shop and he don't like paying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, I've used stick-on weights in my muzzle loaders, but I've not done it in the Remington yet. I was going to do that stuff.
Well, I've actually got a buttload of factory 454 round balls because I've been doing my little flipping and trading and stuff for the last 8 months. So I've accumulated. I got all that 9mm over there. I haven't bought except for those six boxes I bought at Walmart for $5-6 a piece.
Yeah.
I haven't bought 9mm in 15 years or longer. I mean, I moved here in 2007. That's 12 years ago. So I haven't bought 9mm probably 13 or 14 years. But I got a whole pile of it over there because every time I trade, well, yeah, it comes with. Like I got a whole coffee can full of 9mm steel case when I got my G2 from like 3 years ago. So I got 2 boxes of 32 ACP. I don't even have a 32 ACP. But the point I make is, as much as I typically shoot this, I've got enough pure lead round balls not to worry about it, and I've got enough pure lead conicals casted up. I'm not going to run out anytime soon, and most of the time when I shoot this, I use my conversion kit, and those are 452 size through a sizing die conical bullets, and I load them in the brass cases.
How, like, for your cabin ball, when you use those stick-on weights, do you have come across any problems with round balls or conicals?
Not in the past, and even the battery terminal lead's a little, it's a lot harder than pure lead. If I just make 454 round balls, they load in just fine. I don't plus with the 1860, you got this is not like the Army. This has got the cam on it. If y'all can see the cam right there, it's like the little cam star. And that's a whole lot stronger than the average loading lever, like with yours on the Remington that broke. I don't really got to worry about it with this, so I can use a little bit harder lead.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting me an Army. Just
if I run them through a sizing die, then I took off the 456 shave ring anyways, and now I'm just loading a 452 bullet.
Yeah, that is true. Well, I was just Vanessa Kitty made a good comment, and yeah, there's a lot of guns sitting waiting to be recovered in my name. There's a few of them. I know exactly where they're at, but still.
Well, Texas, not every state, but Texas has no registration. So if I went down to the flea market with 15 guns to sell out the back of my pickup truck because I didn't want them anymore, and I wound up trading said guns to Jose Ramirez, who had a Texas driver's license, and it said he lived in Austin, Texas. So I sold it to Jose Ramirez of Austin, Texas on this date. And actually, I didn't sell them. I traded them for this car, and I traded this car for an engine that I put in my pickup truck. There was no money changed hands, so no taxes can be collected. And I have a receipt from Jose Ramirez, which I don't have to maintain because I'm not a gun dealer. So I probably own 600 or 700 guns in my lifetime. And I currently own about maybe 40 or 50. I don't even remember off the top of my head how many I own. 6 black rifles, 7 cowboy rifles, 6 hunting rifles, 3 shotguns. I'd have to sit here on my fingers and probably about 16 or 17 pistols. If you count all the black powder toys, There's a Pedersoli Frontier rifle and a brown vest right behind me.
Oh.
7 open top and an 1860 Pieta. So, I mean, there's 4 guns, 5. I got a 45 on my hip. I got 5 guns right here.
Before we end this, because we're not going to be too much longer, have you ever used the Lee Lodahl. It's the shotgun press.
Can you see it right there on my loading table?
Well, what's your opinion on it? Because I've been looking at one, and I mean they're not expensive.
I paid for my buddy at LJZ Gun Shop. I paid $10 for this, and it's a piece of junk. Now I don't have any of the interchangeable shot powder, blah blah blah, whatever. But I'll tell you where this is nice. I got a box over there in the corner with a bag of wads in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not always perfect for everything I want to do, but I got a bag of wads. And let's say I want to pull that 1887 manufactured Parker Brothers I got and go shoot it. I can't shoot smokeless because I think it's Damascus. Even if it's not, I'm not going to shoot modern shotgun shells out of it. It's a model 1875, built in 1887. I'm not going to do it. But I got a whole bag of plastic shotgun shells over there. And if I was to drop 50 or 60 grains of black powder in and put a plastic wad over the top, fill it full of shot, that little Lee Lodahl is all I need to knock out a primer, prime the shell, and recrimp it. If I go down to Walmart and I go buy 250 number 8 shot, 6.5, 7 a shot, whatever, Dove and Quail loads, a little Walmart shit, I just go buy 200 case of that, right?
Yeah.
I take them back here, I take my pocket knife, and I pry all those shotgun shells open, and I dump all the shot out of it. And then I take my 480 grain 69 caliber round ball or my 1 ounce Lee slug, or 9 or 10, 11, 12, whatever I can get, 32, which is 311 round ball, or my 35 caliber round balls for buckshot, and I put that back in there and put it on that and recrimp it. I just reloaded 480 grain round balls and buckshot loads out of Walmart Dove and Quail crap.
Yeah.
For a fraction of the price. And then all that shot that I poured out, I could put in my shot bag that I can currently use in my 12 gauge muzzle loader or my 75 caliber Brown Bess. So for $10, it gives me a lot of extra options, so I don't have to jack with that solid brass Magtech stuff.
Yeah.
Because if I'm using modern plastic shotgun shells and plastic wads, it's not going to hurt anything in that old gun as long as I got it loaded with black powder. Now I got some 777 over there that would work. If I want to burn a little bit cleaner. Or I can take my modern 1100 or my Norenco 1897, and if I'm making, basically they're both improved cylinder or straight bore, and I shoot 69 caliber round balls, all I'm doing is prying them open, and I shove that round ball down in it and recrimp it, it's done. So I can manufacture my own slugs and buckshot out of cheap Walmart shotgun shells with a $10 Lee Lodahl.
Well, I think on Midway right now, they're like selling for like close to $60 even, you know, with
I was going to say $49.95, $50, $60.
Yeah, I mean it's not, you know, I mean, I think they're having to
it's not like you're dropping $400 on Mech Reloader.
Yeah, I mean, so I was thinking about getting one, trying out. I still got to do a review on that Lee hand loader. I just remember that. Like literally, my list of things to do is like this long. My time to do it is like this.
You get overwhelmed. You don't know where to start.
I know where to start next week. Not this week, but next weekend. Because I'm just too tired this week. I'm going out to the range. I'm going to be shooting things, and I'm going to enjoy the smell of black powder. That is and testing out my new rig.
That's my plan for this weekend. Every time I want to do something, because I got the motor tore out of my Z71, and my buddy's putting it back together with rocker rollers and a little performance cam, and we're going to give it a little little wake up call on it. But you know, I'm going to go out probably Sunday down there and go do a little shooting and stuff. If I go tomorrow, I'll take my grandson with me. We'll set up a couple of tents and maybe spend the night and come back tomorrow afternoon or Sunday afternoon.
All right. Well, I'm gonna, because we're both tired. Might as well end it here. I hope everyone's enjoyed. If you're watching the replay of this, I hope you've enjoyed it, everybody. We went politics, then well, let's face it, guns and politics go together right nowadays. It's one of the two is going to save this country, and I'm not. I have a feeling I know which one's going to do it.
I believe Socrates said about 2,200 years ago or so that if you don't pay attention to politics, you're destined to be ruled by idiots.
Well, we're getting there.
Oh, we're ruled by idiots because too many people are not paying attention to politics. But
Oh, yeah. I'm just hoping.
I could take one more question about guns if anybody's got one. But other than that, I think I'm about ready to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I am too. Give him a few. Give him a few. Give him a minute or two. Any more questions? Last call for questions.
If you're not a member, come on by All Things Cowboy, Black Powder Revolvers and Rifles, and you'll see some new videos Sunday.
And hopefully, I'm actually working with a guy to do a collab Red Dead Redemption live stream. Me and him's got to get our schedule together. Because I thought I was going to be able to do it like 2 Saturdays ago, and then the last 2 Saturdays I've been working. So we'll eventually get it together, and we'll eventually figure everything out. But anyway, night, everybody. See y'all the next time. Be good people, guys.
Y'all take care.